Someone asked me today at the post office when I was dropping off a package of my greeting cards, an order, a big order, and I haven't had a big order in a while. They asked me, they said, I bet you're the life of a party. I'm like, oh, does it show? I said, not the life of a party, but I am funny. And that's what I do for a living, be funny. I write funny greeting cards. But that's sort of like my greeting card business. I do really, really well, but I'm not the person here who's going to give you all the tips, hints, and suggestions and tricks and secret recipes for selling so many a day or creating downloadables, printables, cards. I do really well. I make excellent pocket change. Um, I call it pocket change because it's not enough to have a shopping spree at Neiman Marcus, perhaps a Target, but not Neiman Marcus. But I figure I want to share with you some thoughts and suggestions for you to do if you have a greeting card business. And who am I to tell you this? Who am I to tell you how to write and sell and illustrate greeting cards? Well, I've been doing this for, I would say, a million years. I've been doing it a long time. And from really long time, for a pretty long time, many years ago, I was licensing my cards, and the company that I worked with would produce my art and illustrations, and they sold a 3 to 500,000 a year. I like to call that a half a million. Um, and then they started to be real. They're defunct. They simply went out of business. And I thought, oh, no big deal. I'll just get a new contract. It wasn't that easy. So I decided to go out on my own, to start my own greeting card business, cut out the middleman. And I started selling on Etsy. And what I really like about selling on my own, and for me on Etsy, is I am the CEO. I don't have to wait for 5 people, 6 people, 10 people to say, that's funny. I don't think it's funny. Maybe tweak this word. If I think it's funny, it's usually funny. And when it comes to funny, my humor is all the nucleus of my humor is vanity, which is why my line and my characters are called vanity cases. And the philosophy of my characters is who cares how you feel on the inside, as long as you look fabulous on the outside. And I swear, I think so many of us can identify with a good hair day, the perfect lipstick, the right accessories. I'm not saying I've got all those things going for me, but it has found a voice um, because women do relate to things about our appearance. And they're not slam dunk. They're not slam humor. I always use this word because it's one of my favorites. Pithy. It's pithy humor. And where it comes from is usually me. Yeah, I'll be looking in the mirror and I'll see some erosion happening. Erosion, that's what I call it. Although I like to think of it as evolving. But no, when it comes to the face, it's erosion. Um, and I will write things down everywhere and anywhere. And I do keep them all the text I write together in an organized way, which if you're doing greeting cards is key. But I have found my market, and then I was able to expand my market because not only did I draw characters that look like me, um, complexion, usually over the top accessories, although I'm quite understated today. I'm very understated today. Um, but I started to draw. I figured humor, women humor, vanity knows no boundaries. So I started creating. I call them colorful vanities, my African American vanities. We interrupt this video to show you a couple of fabulous images of what I'm talking about. And I have to tell you, I have gotten a huge, lovely, wonderful following because that particular customer loves that funny is funny, and it's not necessarily a culture flag in there or symbolic of something bigger than the simplicity of finding the perfect lipstick color. So part of doing well in cards or anything that has to do with humor writing is finding your own voice, and hopefully, most importantly, finding that a lot of people hear and understand that same voice. So come along and let me share some. I'm going to share some more things that I do in having my own business that you could follow, but I cannot promise it's going to result in well selling cards. There's so many sites on here or so many YouTube videos that do that. I'm just going to tell you what I do and see if I can creatively motivate you to try and do the same thing for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to give you just 3 things to walk away with creatively, and then I'm going to ask any of you who has any expertise in cats and a newly adopted cat we have. I'm going to ask you a question. But anyway, back to cards. 3 things, a couple of things I think you should do every day that have certainly contributed to me to sales and keeping creative. And you want to keep that creative muscle toned up every single day. Write 2 to 3. I would say give yourself maybe three ideas every day for cards, especially if you write text. Jot them down. You can use sticky pads and then put your sticky pads or your paper in one place, or you can put it in a notebook, however you are organized. And again, at some point, I'm going to show you how I organize my text. But make certain you're coming up with, let's say, 3 ideas that are particular or specific to your card line. That's 1. And then 2, whether you use Procreate, or for me, I use my Surface Pro, or frankly, even a pencil and a napkin. Try and doodle every day. If that's how you come up with designs, my raw designs all start with a doodle, which I then transfer to my Surface Pro, which is digital drawing. But to come up with 3 ideas for cards, again, sticky pads, if that's where you need to put them on sticky pads. A little doodling. And I know this might sound kind of crazy. I also suggest looking at your competition. The reason I suggest that, for me, it motivates me, and it also gets my brain thinking in a different way. So if I'm working on text, and I believe in inside text, you all, I believe on inside text in cards, because statistics show putting a message in there is what will sell a card. And if you're set up to do a cover, you're certainly set up to do inside text. But anyway, I like looking at competition because it sort of helps me reframe, rethink, or pulls me out of the box of maybe my creative box, and kind of opens up that muscle a little. So that's my suggestion for doing every day. And then my next question is, we have adopted a 2, it could be a 4-year-old cat. We can't, and I've had a million pets from the SPCA dogs and things like that. We adopted our children. That's what we do. But this cat, I cannot get this cat to come out of my daughter's room. I cannot get this cat to be roly-poly and lay on her back. She's sweet as anything. She's pretty. She's kind of fat. And she did live in the SPCA for close to a year. And she's been here about 3 months now. Just can't get that cat to feel comfortable. I walk by, I ignore her sometimes thinking that'll do it. And that's helpful. And she is very affectionate, but she just doesn't want to leave my daughter's room. So I'll take any hints. We have not moved the litter box from the room. I'd like to get that out of there, or her food. But if you have any suggestions on making a very shy cat less shy, or socializing them, I would love it. In the meantime, love Pete's and chicken grease, and be creative.